Today we're looking at a structure that is often translated directly from Ukrainian into English. And when we do that, this structure doesn't make sense. It can cause confusion. So if you want to avoid confusion with your friends or your colleagues, keep watching. Welcome to English for Ukrainians, a channel dedicated to helping Ukrainians improve their everyday and business English. Let's imagine there's two people having a conversation, Natalia and Max. Later, Natalia describes her conversation and says, "We were talking with Max about the project." That evening, they watch a film together. The next day, Max says, "We watched a film with Natalia last night." In both of these situations, there are only two people. But this is what an English speaker hears. We, two people or more, were talking with Max, another person. We, 2, 3, 4, but 2 minimum, watched a film with Natalia, another person. So do you see how this leads to confusion? You're using we plus with to talk about two people, but they're hearing 3 or more. Put simply, this structure just doesn't translate. So how can we correctly describe these situations? Let's look at some options. Instead of saying, "We were talking with Max about the project," we can say, "I was talking with Max about the project." Or, "Max and I were talking about the project," or simply, "We were talking about the project," not mentioning names. And instead of saying, "We watched a film with Natalia," we could say, "I watched a film with Natalia. Natalia and I watched a film," or simply, "We watched a film." Okay, so I think you've got it. It's not a difficult thing, but it can be a bit difficult to remember to adjust your way of speaking, especially if it makes perfect sense in your own language. So let's do a practice. If this was you in the picture, you may feel you want to say something like, "We're having breakfast with Sasha." So press pause now and write down or say out loud the 3 different ways you could explain this correctly. So the answers are, I'm having breakfast with Sasha. Sasha and I are having breakfast. We're having breakfast. So pay attention to this structure, otherwise you're guaranteed to cause some confusion. Just one final point. If there are 3 or more of you, this structure may work. We had a meeting with Tanya, for example. There were 3 of you, at least. But if there's only 2 of you, remember you can't use this structure. You need to express it in one of the 3 ways we talked about today.